indentures for this? Oh, fuck. I read it. Oh. Okay.
That. Okay, gonna draw for a bit. I tried watching JoJo. I don't know. It was like an hour and 30 minutes for the first episode, and it was like a cut of a whole season, I guess. I don't know. I think I'd have to watch some more of it before I made my mind up. It was just really ridiculous. Hey, SGRs, what's up? You don't like this guy's costume? I think it looks dope. It's just a Halloween costume. Beautiful bird, I think. No, not yet. Takes a while. Takes a while. Still have much to do. Thinking about can improve it. Taking too much time. It's almost done though. I have another piece ready to go. So. Oh, whoa, what's this? A man in a white jumpsuit and a mask nuzzles you. Oh, whoa. It's just very friendly. It's sad that what reminds you of me is, oh well, typically typical weekly occurrence. Being a furry is hard. Everyone makes fun of you. I mean, can't say that you don't deserve it. Furries definitely have it coming. When will you free the live chat? What do you mean? You are free. Oh, the voice chat? I only do it like when, you know, another streamer wants to talk about something. I really don't use it that often. I only use it for like whenever Bazzer or Jesse or one of these other guys wants to have a conversation about something that's interesting and I think would be kind of cool on stream. So. Yeah, there's a. I mean, there is a chat that you can hop in if you want to. Basically, a public server.
Maybe you ought to just take some early retirement right now and get some rent-a-cop night security job. Tell mom stories.
But yeah, I like. Usually talking kind of distracts me, so I rarely do it. I do have to talk on stream though, so you know, that's one thing. I feel like that's a little different because I don't have to think too much. It's more like automatic. Gotta go to say psychiatrist. Have fun. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. It's never fun. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to talk to someone about your problems. Have someone to talk to. I guess I have the stream. The stream is kind of like my psychiatrist. Frontier psychiatrist. That boy needs therapy. A lot of people substitute listening to Jordan Peterson lectures as what's called psychiatric treatment. And now there's a guy that was like, huh, this is really good. What if I make it an app? What if I can convince people to take the same amount of discretion and thought with psychiatric help as I could with, they do with ordering an Uber. Of course, this worked out magnificently. It's good to get professional help, you know, not from an app. But some people are like, huh, I could save a lot of money. Why not? Why not? I was in a Discord chat once, and someone asked me like, well, what has psychiatry really done if the levels of suicide rates haven't decreased and depression levels of, you know, amounts of depression haven't decreased? And I'm just like, what? Is that the metric? And he just kept repeating that. He didn't have like a counterpoint to like that. He was just like, well, what about the rates of depression and suicide? If those haven't decreased, then I'm like, but that's not the only thing that matters, and that's not the only thing that psychiatrists do. I think there's already an online psychiatric service, isn't there? I don't know. I think I saw an ad for it. Yeah, it's called BetterHelp. It's the Uber of online psychiatry. A lot of YouTubers have been pushing it like relentlessly. You've probably seen an ad for it because every single YouTuber has done an ad for it. A lot of them, actually. A lot of them. I know this because I saw it on Philip DeFranco, and he apparently has a very strong partnership with BetterHelp. Although he has stopped shilling for it recently. We'll see. I don't know. I think it's to be expected that YouTubers will try to sell you products. I think it's just that, I don't know, something about it just like, it's usually when you're an influencer, I think the idea is that you use, you know, your emotional IQ and you're trying to kind of influence people to buy into whatever it is you're selling. Usually it's through empathy. It's like, oh yeah, I really love playing this game. This game is great. This isn't an ad. It's a review for a game. You know, that sort of thing. It's a let's play. It's totally not an ad, guys. I didn't get any money for this, and so, you know, buy the game. Usually that's kind of how it goes. But now it seems a little bit more sinister when it's like, oh man, I have depression, and thanks to BetterHelp, wow, so much better. You know, I find that just a tiny bit more sinister, just a tiny bit more evil. I don't know, maybe that is to be expected. Like there's kind of a trade-off, right? You get content, she sells you products. Right, and so since you're not paying for the product, you have to expect that you're going to be sold something. So I don't know. Personally, I'm not stupid enough to buy into an online psychiatry program. It just sounds like baffling. But a lot of people out there will think of it more as like, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people need psychiatric help right now, I feel like, because there's a lot of people that are just have these unhealthy obsessions with, you know, it's mostly stemming from like social media. People have like breakdowns, just yell at people online. It's kind of a strange place to be in, I think. So, you know, there's a really big niche for something like a BetterHelp. Cheap soothsayers, you know, something like that. I don't think it's a good idea though. Yeah. I wish I could delete my social media, because it's just really bad. And these are like people, like real social media, not like on Twitter. I just follow people, and then like I'll basically like, these aren't my friends, and I don't have to, like, there's no compulsion to follow them. But on Facebook, it's like, it's people you know, so it's kind of like, oh, I'm not sure I should unfollow, because like I have to see this guy maybe at some point, and I need to talk to him about something. And it's like, maybe it would be unwise, but then you get bombarded by all of his we call it autism, and so it's like, I guess I just won't show up as much. But on Twitter, you like, I get a lot of laughs. I don't know, it's very, very fun. A lot of really funny stuff on Twitter, especially if you follow some of these guys. They're it's almost like being at a stand-up show all the time. And if you follow the right people, you basically get free comedy. So, you know, worth it. But Facebook is just kind of awful. I didn't used to, like, I got into Twitter about I don't know, how long have I been streaming? I think I've been streaming like 3-4 years now, maybe. As soon as I started, someone was like, "Oh man, you need to get on Twitter. Twitter is the wave of the future." And I was like, Twitter sounds really gay. I don't really want to do that. But whatever. I made a Twitter account, and then I don't know, one by one, I started adding interesting people I actually like, whose opinions I care about enough, or at least their jokes are funny enough that I would be interested in whatever else that they're offering. Neil deGrasse Tyson comes to mind, you know, just like one by one. And he's a really funny guy on Twitter. I don't know, even though he retweets his content a lot, like, just constantly. Like, hey, here's this thing I said, you know, 2 months ago. Here it is again. And it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, there's a lot of people making just original, kind of like amateur comedy, and I'm just into that. And so if you find the right people, they'll share funny articles with you, and it's kind of cool. And then you share them with your friend. I'm more of a Discord person. I like shit talking to people in real time. But yeah, Twitter's pretty fun. Reddit. I heard Reddit is a hive of villainy and scum. So I used to be on Reddit a lot, but then I I don't know, it's just not. Just kind of boring. I don't know. I think I followed the wrong people on Reddit because the wrong subreddits, because eventually it just became kind of like this shit flinging contest, and it was just too much for me. So I haven't been on Reddit too much. Sometimes I browse with like a throwaway, just so that I can keep my sanity. Apparently there's a really funny article. Someone submitted a thesis for their what was it? Degree in art of criminology. It's a really fun read. Maybe I'll link it later. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there for art too. I usually just go for what's it called? Yeah, for Discord for that too, or ArtStation's really the best, I think. Really the best out of all those. If there is this, because like then you just get the works, cool works, and it's like it's good stuff all the time. Bodysuit again. Trying to find a interesting one. Use ArtStation a lot. I don't get a huge social vibe from it. Mostly LinkedIn for artists. Yeah, but you can use it socially. Like you can find people. Like, hey, what's up? I like your work. Most artists will, respond. Unless they're, Chinese and they don't know what you said to them, and so they can't respond, but they might run it through Google Translate. Who knows? Most people speak English now, so. Is that too much? I feel like that might be too much. I guess I like Instagram a touch more because it feels more casual. I don't really use Instagram the right way. I just update it once in a while. Red Sonja. Was that what it is? Red Sonja, the one that was I think that was it, right? The Barbarian comic. I think that was what it was. I wanted to do that one, but it's got a nipple in it. So I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think they're. I'm not absolutely sure, but I'm like 75% sure. No nipple. That's like the one rule. I know that if that's how I usually gauge these things. It's like whatever it is that the worst offenders, in my opinion, do for a certain thing, and whatever they can get away with is usually what I stick by. I see the nipple. So the nipple is there. Is a nipple there? So I know that the fundamental rule that you can't break on Twitch is you can't show your nipples. I know this from doing a lot of research. Everything is okay as long as there is no nipples. That much I'm sure about. I like her hands. I think her hands would take a long time. Everything else is mostly fine. I think that's the... That's the one thing so far I've figured out. I don't know why it's the nipple that people hate. That is the rule. It just seems really arbitrary to me. Because you could have something like a fully painted breast, right? The shape is there and it's like... It's clearly something there, and it's, you know, it's a human body part. But as long as the nipple is covered up and you can't have the nipple there, then it becomes okay. I'm not sure what the rationale is. But I think that's how it works. It's the nipple. It's always the nipple. So yeah, I've done the research on this. Салат, да, я положил в морозилку. Ты можешь рыбу покушать. Ooh. Hey Bazri, what's going on? Just doing some drawings to warm up. How's it hanging? So yeah, I feel like yeah, as my wife. I told her that we are not out of Sala and she can get it in the refrigerator. Women nips are clearly the devil's apple juice. Yeah, I've come to the same conclusion. It's gotta be something. Anyway, if they can't do it, then I definitely can't. So I'm not going to. Sure. Devil's apple juice. That's a neat way of saying it. Discord. Come on in, Bazri. Perfect time too, since I'm just sketching.
Hey!
Hey Bazri, what's up?
Morning.
Morning.
Oh,
Is it morning for you?
No, it's actually 9 p.m. But, well, I woke up 4 hours ago. So, my schedule is non-existent. So I'm just gonna sit here and finish stuff throughout the night. And how are you?
I'm good. I guess that's them shifting you to an American schedule.
Them shifting? What?
Well, because you know you need to find clients, and so most of the clients are European and American, so you got to be on our time zone.
Yeah, I'm
the best time zone.
The audio. I mean, it's not OG time zone, but it is good time zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I would like to live in America though. I don't think that's my cup of tea.
No, you don't like? It's great here.
Is it?
It's great here. Yeah.
Okay. But they have to pay
Man.
for shit expensive.
You do have to pay for shit, that's
Yeah,
true, but you
here
usually
you-
earn
here
money.
you just get everything for free. You know? No, but it's like
Filthy commie.
filthy commie. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. No, Poland is like no.
You don't like not having healthcare?
Mm,
Filthy communist.
yeah. I actually don't have. I mean, listen. Like, get this. I'm not insured,
Hmm.
but I still can go to a doctor, and they cannot decline me help with like a just cold or something, and because that's they introduced a law like 4 years ago that you can go there and cannot press any like charges or something. I mean, yeah, in public hospital. It's pretty good. It's pretty goddamn free. The devil's language. I kind of like Russian to listen to it. I was riding once with a woman on a train, and she was working in Poland. She was Ukrainian, and I'm just talking to your chat. Okay.
No, I'm listening.
No,
I'm
no,
listening. I heard everything.
Yeah, okay. I was riding on the train with this woman, and she was like working in like Amazon, like sorting facility.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
because Ukrainian people are cheap here.
Yeah.
So she was working there, and she had this like like when Russian woman and the Ukrainian woman speak English, they have this accent. I don't know, she was speaking Polish actually, but she had this accent, and I find this accent so goddamn relaxing to listen to, that she was talking to me, and because she was just talking, she was a terrible talker, because she was just talking, she wasn't asking a question, and they fucking fell asleep, because it was so so ASMR relaxing to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think she even noticed. I don't know, like, he just dozed off.
I tried to stream via my phone with this new mount I bought, but my table is way too wobbly, plus the audio situation is weird. Huh.
The table situation. I like your lag on the stream, that it's non-existent. I like that now.
Really?
Yeah. It's like I could hear myself like on the stream, like with 1 second delay.
I'm not sure how that's possible, but I guess I'm
That's pretty
connected
good.
to the right server.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. That's pretty good. Because like when I type something, it's 1, 2, 3, and it shows up after 3 seconds. It's pretty good.
Yeah. 3 seconds. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. The technology.
Yeah, that's So that means I like within reason I should be responding to chat within 3 seconds.
That's really good.
But I'm absolutely not doing that.
Yeah, you're not doing that. Yeah, maybe you're pretty keen on chat, not like me. It's like much worse.
I like the chat, but it's like
yeah, I like the chat, but so usually no one is there, so I don't.
when it's
I'm
dead.
used to loneliness. So much that
no.
someone comes, no, I don't notice because I'm fucking watching some on the other one. So.
Oh yeah. That's what I was about to say. Like if it's a dry spell and then someone comes in, it's like, oh,
It's like
I totally missed that.
Yeah. It's like visiting a hermit. Like, who are you? What are you doing here? Well, get out of my life.
Yeah.
It's an American hermit. It's out.
The secret's out. Now I know you're just a douche.
Yeah.
I don't respond on purpose.
Yeah.
What is it? Because you're traditional? That's why you're doing it with like a phone?
Traditional. What are you painting?
Yeah.
What are you painting? Show us your shiz.
Traditional.
I'm already on your Instagram, dude. That's that's actually pretty nice. That's pretty nice. You do Gametober. That's really good. Hey, that's a solid boy. You have solid boys in your stream. Suman.
This is now a Slavic stream. Slavs only.
Yes, I squat right now. Yes. I really don't know how Polish accent sounds for Honor, so I'm just doing bad Russian accent. I found someone. I was talking to somebody, and someone gave me the most ridiculous description of how Polish sounds to them. It was as if I'm thrown into the pit with snakes and dry leaves, because it's all it's like fucking.
Huh.
It's like, oh, okay.
Man. I wonder if I could stream on my iPhone. Cause I got a new phone.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's the what's it called? The newest one.
Newest one, huh? This is what you're getting for beating clients with poster.
Yeah, well, I got it before they canned my ass, so you know, I'll have to step up the freelance work. Maybe do some lewds or something.
Oh, no.
Well, it was 700 off for 2, so my wife needed a new phone, and so I was like, all right, well, you know, might as well get 2. It's very nice compared to what I used to have. I had a 5S.
Dude,
hey, Saran.
I'm European. We don't have iPhones here. Barely anyone has iPhones here. It's like the weirdest difference, because everyone has iPhones in America, and here barely anyone has iPhones.
Now you control me by making me say, "Hey Siri," and she's always listening. It's like one of the coolest parts is that she can hear me at all times.
Hey Siri.
I love the American government, and I believe that, you know, Saudi Arabia did nothing wrong. Hey Siri.
Am I on speakers?
No.
Hello, Siri. Hey Siri, how to make a bomb?
No, she can't. No.
Woo, that would be quick.
So it's 1,100, and then mine is 700 off. So, but yeah, we've had iPhone 5Ss for about 3 years.
Fancy boy.
So, yeah, those phones were dead. You know, you should probably upgrade your phone once every 3 years.
Should you?
Yeah.
Hello, Aunt. How are you?
Yeah, we got them for basically for free because they were refurbished. iPhone 5S, there was a deal on them, and they came kind of shitty. They were already kind of bricked. The screens didn't work quite as well as they should have, so so we've kind of been, you know, using them, and not getting really good service. But you need phones, so
you need phones, but that's like, how much? Do you need them to pay $1,000 for them? Do you need them that much?
Yeah, but like, I mean, think of, I don't know, we're not really spending money on anything. We don't really do much, so.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you're doing on your phone, but I'm watching YouTube and listening to podcasts and call. That's all I do. And so I don't know what you do, but
yeah.
Does it need to be $1,000 phone?
So it's $1,000 over the course of 2 years. So I mean, you know, it's not like we had $1,000 in the bank account.
Yeah,
we just
okay.
bought them cash.
Yeah, I'm usually like transforming it into how many months can I live in Poland for a grand? And it's
Yeah.
like, too much to.
Yeah, so like, you know, would you spend 20 bucks to have a much better phone? And for us the answer was yes. I mean, someone could say no. But for us it was the yes. Cuz like she needs a phone, she's constantly using it. I don't use the phone too much, but I like being able to use it when I do need to use it. You know, everyone goes to the bathroom, so
Yeah,
that's
the only time you use a phone.
or in the subway a lot. And so
Oh yeah, you have Subway.
That's another reason. I mean, like, you get a lot of use out of your phone.
Do you like, how is this subway etiquette in wherever you live? Where do you live? New York?
Oh, it's shit.
But is
It's
it like
shit. People
don't
awful.
hold eye contact? How is it?
Well, you probably shouldn't stare at people because they might start shit with you. But it is kind of off because like you go in there and it's just like people are throwing shit all over the floor. They're very loud.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's very kind of like low culture setting.
Because in London,
So.
it's like everyone is just sitting in their phones and everyone's quiet.
Yeah, a lot of people sit in their phones. Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone's quiet. There is no like, and it's really clean. It's not like fucking.
No, people play shitty music really loud
God.
on their speakers, shitty speakers, and torment everybody.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
don't
awful.
like those. These
No.
types are like what is in the mind of someone like that? Because just Jesus Christ.
They just don't think about other people.
Yeah,
and they're
but-
just kind of shitty.
Or do you think and you want to like I don't know brag that you have either shitty speakers or bad taste in music? Like either way is bad.
Yeah, well.
And
Welcome
it's
to
and
life
it's
in
never
America.
classical music that they play. It's never.
Sometimes it is actually. Sometimes it is, and when it's that, then it's okay, because then it's
Yeah,
like
but
it's
is
actually
it?
good music.
How many- how-
It's like once in a very long time you get someone who's playing classical music from the 80s, something like
oh yeah,
that.
I mean
you know?
classical. I mean,
Well, I mean
1800s,
that's also
I mean.
classical. Oh well,
no, I was going extreme.
much more classical. Okay. I don't think I've ever had that happen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe once one time. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, because
But
if
yeah,
someone
most
is
people-
playing, you know, like I don't know, fucking Queen, that's like just a hipster, that's just stupid and just, you know, just want to, I don't know, what do they want? But
Sometimes from the 50s, like there's sometimes people play stuff from the 50s. It's like it depends on who you get. If you get an asshole, then it's an asshole. Like I don't mind it when it's good music, but when it's shit music and and they're playing it real fucking loud, and most of the music now is really shit because
Ooh.
it's just repetitive nonsense. Sorry, Boomer Darnis here.
Ooh.
Gonna take a shit on fucking
born in the wrong
Lil
generation,
Pump.
like
Lil Pump and Lil Wayne and Lil fucking Bow Wow. There's so much bad fucking music. It's just really bad. I don't know. It's the same thing over and over and over and
I
over
mean,
again. If they
it's
kind of
probably as much percentage-wise as it always is, but it's just more visible, yes, because you have a platform. If you've been shitty composer in 1800, you just haven't been listening.
yeah, I'm
to-
sure that they just wouldn't have the access,
Yeah,
and they wouldn't be able to blast it in your ear. That's the main difference, I think. Like, sure, there's a lot of bad music from that time period, but
In Poland, whenever someone is playing music from the headphones, no headphones, like a little boombox or something, it's always the same. It's always like 17-year-olds with Polish hip hop, and Polish hip hop
yeah,
is fucking just abysmal. it's just, you know, oh yeah, I'm poor, oh you're poor too, wow, well let's fuck the police. It's like basically the premise of it. It's like, oh okay, oh wow, that's so, wow, mature, very mature. God damn it.
There's good hip hop. It's just that it hasn't been made in a very long time.
Oh, another strong
oof.
opinion. I would argue probably if I knew one fucking thing about hip hop, but I don't. So.
I don't know. It's all mumble rap now.
I liked Ice Cube. No, that's not a hip hop. That's rap, isn't it? No. Okay.
I mean, it's
I don't even...
same enough to be kind of.
I don't know, because in rap you have like fucking guitars and shit, and it's cool music, but in the rap, hip hop is just beat. And
I don't know if there's any kind of thing where you have to have just the beater. I don't think there's like a limit like that.
The limit.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, here's some good rap like right now. Like let's see, Kendrick Lamar comes to mind.
I don't listen to it. I can't speak.
Yeah, well, I don't know. There is stuff, but it's just like it's always. It's never what's played by these people that like fucking. It's always like Nicki Minaj or some shit like that they're like just blasting in the subway.
Oof.
Okay.
Where were you from? New York, Los Angeles? Where are you from? I don't remember. Always
New York.
Oh yeah, okay. It's like...
Fucked up that leg.
How contaminated is the air in New York? Is it bad? Is it really bad, or just?
It's not that bad. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like, I mean, you do notice a huge difference if you go to like the countryside, but I don't know. I wouldn't call it, you know, the worst.
Well, probably you're not in fucking Shanghai, but
yeah, there's probably worse out there.
China.
I don't have a smartphone. I do have an iPad though. I think you could stream with an iPad. The iPad stream.
Like I find it very interesting what is happening in China, because they are like you know, the environmentally aware people in like Western world are usually like, you know, just always like, you know, bashing the governments constantly and bashing people, which is, you know, to an extent an alright reason. But in China, basically they you know, but the usual premise of those people is that we have no stopper, that we have no like a limit to what we can do badly. But actually in China is they realize like, okay, we start fucking they're just dying, and they are now making like ridiculous attempts to conserve the air pollution. They do those giant farms off the coast. They do giant solar farms on the land. They have like massive projects. So I guess that's where it's going when we are like getting uncomfortable.
China seems like one of the biggest polluters, and they keep kind of virtue signaling by signing these like climate change accords, but I feel like they're not gonna do any of it. It seems to me like
they are
they're
doing
liars.
Not
really.
Have you seen those farms? There's like
they can have farms.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
they're not cutting down on the pollution. That's what matters.
But that's what they do. That's what they actually doing. They're actually like getting uncomfortable in the places where they are living, and they're actually making, you know, like 30 square kilometers farms off the coast, and they do giant projects because of that now. They start having like restricted area with traffic in those cities, and they try to do more tunnels. Like they actually doing some crazy stuff right now.
Maybe.
And it's very interesting because, you know, it's always gonna be the scale to the max with China. So it's like just it's really nice to follow because it's it's so many people and so much money in those projects.
Yeah, China makes like cities that they don't put anyone in, which is kind of weird. They have these ghost cities.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
ever look at them, they're like giant art projects. They have like all these statues and cool shit in them, and then no one's living there.
But it's very shittily done. It's very badly built. I mean, they still have a communist government, so they still have like, yearly quota on construction because it's like centralized government. So they have like, we need to make this amount of buildings, but then they buy like the cheapest. Have you seen those cities inside? Like they actually like falling apart because they are so badly made.
I haven't seen them
they are
inside.
terrible, dude. They're hazard to get in after like 2 years.
Huh.
I have a channel of a guy that's he's European, but he's doing business in China. He's constantly there, and he's riding a motorbike on through the China too, and he was showing he actually got to this city, and there was this city on the outskirts of a bigger city, and it's like 100,000 people city. Like it should be, but he went in there, and it was built 2 years before he got there, and now it looks like it's abandoned for like 50 years because the materials are so bad that the thing is just falling apart. It's crazy that they are doing that.
Well, it sounds like China. They're
It is
making
China.
really shitty. Usually when you buy Chinese, there's it's always like the shittiest possible thing, unless it's like an iPhone and you're paying like exorbitant amounts for
but their phones are really good right now too, like OnePlus, like Xiaomi, or how the hell do you pronounce that? It's really good stuff. They have very, very weird mentality in China. They have like, they don't care about their surrounding much. Like if something is just destroyed on their surroundings, they don't, they just gonna ignore it, and they're gonna wait for someone else to do it. Oh yeah, that's like the main issue this guy had. It's like people in China always will wait for someone else to do something if something is to be done somewhere. And he was living in this block, and there was what was it called, the light bulb that went off on one of the floors, and for 20 years no one changed it because no one wanted to take responsibility for it.
That sounds pretty awful.
That is awful. I mean,
with the internet, it just means you got to dig more to find that good stuff. I had a choice between going to Boston versus New York. I chose Boston because New York felt like it was too much of everything. Yeah, I like Boston. Boston's really nice. New York is a little bit too fast for me too. I'd move to Boston if I had the choice. Honestly, the US has a problem with giving good news reports that isn't domestic. I don't know about that. It feels like I'm bombarded with bad news.
Good news
about domestic.
What does he mean?
Like something good happening in China or something.
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, China #1. That never happens. I mean,
That's it.
maybe, but I'm constantly bombarded by just American domestic news that it's like completely awful all the time. Just
Yeah, it is. I mean, they make it because it sells. Yeah.
yeah, it's much easier to sell a negative story. Seems like people are more attracted to the negative.
1 million people didn't die in China. Oh, that's okay. Okay. We don't care.
I don't know. There's a lot of coverage for non-domestic stuff that's negative, because like when something good happens there, like no one really cares. Like people care about heart-wrenching stories. They don't care about agriculture in China up 25%. You know, like no one cares. They want, you know, people running around with machetes attacking school children in South Africa or something.
Ooh,
That's
well, I would watch that. That's
it's
a
very
title.
awful. It's very awful, but it's happening. Honestly, I mean, good, well-researched news about things other than, yeah. I mean, there's a reason for that. I mean, we're America-centric, you know, just like Europe doesn't, you know, broadcast.
I mean, that's why, you know,
in depth.
That's what it should be, yeah. Is you care more about your country. So.
Right, I think so. I'm not sure why we would, you know, care so much about another country. Just like the function of the news has always been to kind of create patriotism. So I feel like it would be diluting if you added something like, you know, look at how great Europe is, you know.
I mean, is it
I'm not
like
sure.
it's like straight
It's a bit
contrary
shit.
to what you said about it being constantly bad news in domestic area? So how does it make patriotic?
Oh, that's real simple. You have partisanship except on anything that actually matters. So what you have is like a red team, blue team situation.
Yeah.
And one team is like, oh, we hate this. And the other team's like, no, that stuff's really good. But it's all like minutia and none of it actually really matters. It's not life-changing. But then you have something like the war in Iraq. And it's suddenly like, hey, you know what? This is a great idea. And blue team is like, yeah, you know what? Something about this feels right to me. Let's go in there.
Something
you know, so
yeah.
so there's it's very clear.
Is
I think
America
that-
still in Iraq?
Partially? I would guess partially. Let me see. I don't know. Probably. I would say that we still have forces in Iraq. We could just do a quick Google. Is America still in Iraq?
Yeah, that's some.
See, that's how uninformed I
Bush-era
am.
Story.
See, the last report I can find was in 2017.
Oh boy.
Thousands more U.S. service in Iraq and Syria than believed. I would guess that we have a lot because of the conflict in Syria.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
So, you know, those are never-ending wars. And so if...
Oh my God, this is good. I mean, they need stabilization, I guess, too. It's not like totally awful.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do this, because the opposite would be probably really bad. You already have kind of a hot situation with literal anarchists now just being a thing.
You mean where? You mean in...
Like Berkeley?
Oh, you mean in America?
Yeah, in America.
Oh God.
I mean, everywhere else too.
Anarchists are... Oh. Okay. They really
So, I
grind
mean-
my gears.
So I mean, I'm biased towards the status quo. I think we're doing as good a job as we can. When these guys come in and they're like, oh, you know, we're just gonna take away your iPhones, I'm just like, you know, maybe it's a bad idea. I just paid for this thing. You know, we really have trouble, I think, saying no to slave labor, or, you know, punishing Saudi Arabia for assassinating a journalist. I mean, like, it's really hard, because think of the companies that are, you know, giving us so much money to give them, you know, helicopters and F-14s. You know, that would be a real shame if Saudi Arabia stopped giving us money.
Yeah.
So, you know. We're very divided except when we're not. And it's usually the hard questions that we're not at all divided on. and it's always very patriotic. I don't know. It might be worse if it was the opposite. It might be much worse. I don't know. I'm just excited about the next election. You know, gotta keep.
When is the selection?
I don't know.
It's like, wait, he's in 2 years in office right now,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
So they're gonna actually start campaigning like soon.
Yeah.
For
He's already
fuck's
campaigning.
sake. This is
You want real issues? Pepsi or Coke? Yeah, basically.
yeah. I mean, obviously Pepsi. Like, there's no arguing actually.
Yeah, Pepsi's way better.
It's been established scientifically.
Right.
It's like.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the depth is like Orange Man mad, Orange Man bad. Me no like Orange Man. You know, and then that's it. That's the depth of argument.
What's Orange Man? Orange Man might win again.
I think so. I think
Orange
he'll
Man
win.
is very likely to win again because it's the same, still the same thing that people that are for Orange Man are still not vocal about being fond of his actions. It's like because they still it's like still stigmatized. So the Orange Man will fucking. It's gonna be the same fucking story. People are gonna be like, oh yeah, everyone hates him. Yeah, right. So yeah. Oh, he won. Oh well.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think he will win, but for different reasons. Like, if the Republic, I'm not voting, by the way. I haven't even registered. I don't really give a shit what the outcome will be.
What are even patriotic? You Russian spy.
Yeah, I personally don't have a cow in the race. And so I guess that'll be held against me, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't really like him. I think it would be bad. It would be bad if Putin. But yeah, it's gonna be Hillary Clinton running.
Is it
Bernie
gonna be?
Sanders.
Is she gonna be running?
Yeah.
She's barely
I'm
alive.
already- Yeah, but they're already prepping the crowd for. Yeah. I already read maybe 3 or 4 articles where it was Hillary Clinton.
She's
So
barely. Jesus Christ.
she's still alive. She's still kicking. It's her turn.
Oh my God.
It's good. Yeah.
This is this is so
It's her turn.
oversaturated. It's like tiring. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is
It's
there
gonna be
like libertarian? Not libertarian. Yes, there is libertarian.
Yeah, they're not gonna
They
win.
have like 3%.
They never win. They
Yeah,
could have the only time they could win is when the country is so super divided that they somehow squeeze out, an extra percent to even get into the debates. Last year they weren't even in the debates, I think. I'm not sure if Gary Johnson was in there. I don't know. They don't seem like they seem like controlled opposition or something. They're just not serious people. So, whatever. I think it was what's that other guy's name? Well, it's Coca-Cola, you commie bastard. You don't like Pepsi? What are you?
Were they fucking crazy?
What are you gay? Come on, Pepsi.
What a gay?
Like, come on, man. Pepsi's way better.
Pepsi is way. I don't drink any of those, but it is better.
They have different they have what's it called, different bottles now, so I don't even know which one of them is red anymore. I don't know. So what I think is gonna happen is they're not gonna primary Trump. It's just gonna be him on the ticket, which would be really smart. And so what's gonna happen is that Trump is gonna be yelling about Hillary Clinton for the next I don't know, 5-6 months. It's gonna be like, oh, she's back. We're gonna send her back. We're gonna send her back
Is-
right over the wall.
Is Sandy Barner still?
Yeah, he's definitely running. He's definitely running.
He's also almost dead. My God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Polish
So-
fucking president is like 44.
Yeah, well, you know,
Oh my God.
there's no space for the new guy. How about Birdie? I don't know. Me personally, again, I don't care. I only make predictions. I don't support either candidate. My prediction is that Trump will win because it'll be Hillary Clinton again, unless it's like some kind of space dimensional flux where Hillary accidentally like doesn't pick herself as the DNC's front runner, which is doubtful because yeah, it's just not gonna happen. So Jeremy, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Yeah, I make no what's it called? No endorsements, just predictions. I don't care either way. I just draw stuff. Bazri, who do you think will win?
Orange
Who do you
Man.
think's gonna win?
Orange Man.
Orange Man?
I think
Yeah.
Orange Man. Because
Orange Man bad. How can he win again? It makes no sense.
it's gonna be Orange Man. Because like, really, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be exactly the same. Nothing changed throughout the course
Yeah.
of all of this time. And people's opinion, it's still the people who are swayed in his side, they're still there, and the center people that didn't have any sway one or the other side, like, and are very swayable. Is this the word? Like they see like, oh, okay, the country is burning constantly while he's in the office. Well, I guess I'm gonna, just vote him again. I don't know.
I think he has a better chance. I think he has a better chance of winning than he did before, which is kind of sad, but also kind of true. Here's why. There's a good clip from The Wire where Omar Little says something like, "When you come at the king, you best not miss." And this is kind of what has been happening. The media has been taking hundreds of shots at Trump, and each one of them just bounces off, just completely bounces off. And what's that done? That's had the absolute opposite effect of whatever it is that they were hoping for.
And
It's good.
he is using that really well. Like,
Yeah.
you can say whatever the fuck you want about this guy, but he can fucking talk his way out of shit. Like, he's just... that's his biggest strength. Like, he should be constantly talking to other countries. Like, because that's what he's good at, actually.
Yeah, he's a very polished reality TV star, and he's just really good at what he does. You have to admit that. And for some reason, that other side is just saying like, no, we don't have to admit that. Let's just pretend that he's a retard.
I mean, he's a really to the left, like on the whole scheme of things. I think he's really good thing that happened because they have to figure out what to do with him, and now they can't because they are divided and they have this they cannot meme, and they cannot even say, oh yeah, he's good at this talking thing, like we can, but they cannot admit that. They cannot admit that he is good at anything right now. So he cannot. They cannot fight this guy. They cannot fight this guy. But if it's possible to beat the boy, it's a good thing that it happened because it's allowed them to grow, kinda. Have you been watching? Have you been watching the Devil's Advocate of the Nazi boy Chowder?
No, I don't really watch Crowder. I only watch Crowder to make fun of him.
Yeah, but it's actually really nice. I actually like the show. He's he's pretending to be some hipster leftist, and he's talking to Shapiro or something, and basically, you know, giving all the arguments, like very well researched, like leftist arguments on things. And you know, Shapiro doesn't have those, like leftists don't make good arguments to Shapiro usually, like because people that are attending his fucking rallies and shouting at him, they don't have good leftist argument, but he actually has, and it's a good you know, it's a good like throwing wall that he presents at this show, like because he actually makes like points. You know, it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, I haven't watched Crowder. I watched one clip that made it to me was when he confronted some university professor.
Okay.
He went into his class, and apparently this guy was tweeting mean shit about him. And so Crowder decided that the apropos response was to dress up in a white suit
Okay.
and
Jesus Christ.
yell at him. Yeah, yell at him in class and disrupt his class. So I don't know, but very solid arguments from the what's called white bodysuit wearing gentleman. I don't know. I don't buy it. I'll have to listen. See what's up with that. Maybe. I'm not saying Crowder's dumb, but he isn't the most. I don't know. I don't trust him. He doesn't seem like he's an honest person.
You don't trust him? Okay.
No,
Why?
no. He seems incredibly dishonest.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, why so?
The way he presents, the way he presents issues is usually incredibly partisan and incredibly one-sided, and his shtick is I'm so balanced when he really isn't.
Yeah, I think he's like every time I think he is argument like well versed like until someone just say something to him, because then he stops being like balanced and he just goes
no yeah no more balance
because
after that.
Yeah, when he does like change my mind, like he's very balanced until someone like throws some meme and or you know some like the smallest thing, then he just starts bashing them like that he doesn't. So that I don't like, because it could keep going.
I don't care how stuff turns out. I just want to live in space during my lifetime. Not gonna happen. Sorry. Ideally not, because the Earth was blown to bits. Cause I mean, like, there's no reason.
Why would you live in space? Come on. Why would you?
I mean, like commercial space travel is like, I don't know. It's a really interesting and cool thing. I would love to be able to, you know, go out into space, but it's like,
yeah, but for a vacation, not to live there.
I don't know. It'd be cool to live on a spaceship. But I feel like it's like living on a desert island. It just wouldn't be the good life. You know?
Yeah, and I also like my bone density too much
Yeah.
to give it up.
Yeah, all that atrophies. Yeah, everything atrophies. Your muscles, unless you simulate gravity, you could even simulate more gravity, and then you could come back as a big boy.
But the like the spinning ship, just make.
Yeah, it'd be like Goku. He'll be like, what's it called?
That's gonna happen.
Hyperbolic time chamber, or
hyperbolic time chamber. This is what was it?
Yeah.
This was what's called?
Yes. Well, I mean, that was one of the things. They also went into space and they trained in space with like
obviously
increased gravity, which is kind of cool. I don't know. I like the idea of going to Mars, living there, you know, on a colony.
It's gonna be tremendous. I mean, the main thing is, I guess, lack of magnetosphere there, because this is gonna fuck us up. and we don't want to live underneath the ground, but unless we want to, because the sun boy is gonna kill us without magnetosphere. Oh, and the whole planet is covered in iron tetroxide, which is deadly poison to us. Just not the best. The best.
I don't know. I think we'll have to survive global warming and all these other things, and pollution, and radioactive storms and asteroids.
Radioactive
and so,
storms.
yeah, sure. Yeah. Death of a supernova, something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to do that I think comes before having people just go out and live in space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no
like,
point actually. Like a very
there's-
like I think we do like that. We do a good pace, like going kind of slow because there is no need. Like it's good that we're doing that, but exploration is I think sufficiently quick right now. We don't need to spend more on it.
I mean, that sounds a lot like, well, why would we want to find a new route to India? That sounds retarded.
Let's do it. Of course, we
Yeah.
need to do that, but we don't. But the pace we are doing it right now is great. Like we don't need to like make anything else suffer to make it happen. That's what I think.
Well, usually investment in something like this brings about growth in, just completely different areas.
Yes.
because
But
of-
we do research. The research in this kind of stuff is the lower end of expense in this kind of stuff. Like actually sending things out is big expense. But we do a lot of research like that hasn't been utilized yet, and we benefit from.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of that, like electricity. We will be killed by Skynet or some Boston Dynamics mad robots. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably true.
Yeah, the
I would say.
one that jumps and does backflips gonna just fucking murder us all. That's it.
The one that dances Uptown Funk.
And I'm okay with
Just
that. And I'm okay.
forced to dance one too many times, and then it's just like, it's time to die.
That's human.
Yeah, I feel like that could happen. Seems very plausible that we would be the architects of our own demise. Seems, apropos. But, yeah. If we don't, kill ourselves first. With wars and things like that.
Yeah.
Nuclear war could happen anytime. I think there's a doomsday clock run by physicists like Lawrence Krauss.
Is there?
It's-
What does it represent?
Yeah. How close we are to all-out nuclear war.
Okay.
Yeah,
what does
that's
it
what the
take?
doomsday clock. I love Bazzy. The doomsday clock. But what does it mean?
No, but I know that. But what does it take into consideration? It doesn't. It's gonna happen in 1 year or something arbitrarily.
I don't know. I guess they track a lot of different factors about how ready we are to go to war, how ready we are to use nuclear arms
Also, the time
on a
constantly
worldwide
changes
square.
there.
Yeah, well, it changes. I think they set it once or twice a year.
Okay, so it's fucking
Or-
stopper basically. It's not.
Yeah.
Clock.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like it's not like like this is gonna happen. Here's
No,
when. Here's we've been to the future. We have photographic proof. It's more like, okay, I think it's gonna happen. Here's kind of our rationale. We're some of the smartest people in the world. Listen to us. Maybe stop with the bullshit. And everyone's like, yeah, maybe we should listen to the smartest people in the world.
Oh, how is this stuff with crowds unveiled? Because he was like accused of some sexual
Krauss?
harassment.
Yeah, I think that just went away.
Did they?
Just never. Yeah, because the woman that was accusing him was, I don't know, I'm pretty sure she was a bad actor. She was you know, just politically motivated to, you know, it's funny that there's a lot of people that are willing to call someone a rapist for political reasons nowadays. It's almost like there's no cost whatsoever to do so.
I'm glad because I actually really like the guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I'm pretty sure that nothing happened at all.
Yeah, probably.
Almost positive.
But it's still like she said that, but there's gonna be still people asking him, even if it's.
Oh yeah.
So that's fucking shitty. Because
forever.
Yeah, forever. You're gonna stigmatize.
Yeah, people.
Black, you fucker.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, "Oh, remember that time you raped someone?" It's like that never happened. Yeah, well, that's not what the news told me.
But you know, tell me, because like, did you rape? Did you rape? Wink, 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 wink. Come on, tell me, you know.
Yeah, it's not gonna go away. Like once an accusation has been made, that's kind of like forever. You can't take it back. And there's so many of these people that are just, you know, doing it, and then it's like, oh, you were lying, and they're like, yeah, well, you know, whatever, shit happens, and then the world kind of keeps turning, and no one ever actually goes back and is like, well, maybe we should do something about this person. You know, maybe there should be repercussions. Maybe we should discourage this type of behavior.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe we should. Yeah.
No, that's madness.
It's just gonna.
Madness.
It's gonna go with that.
Yeah, because you know, why would someone lie? You think people just go like on the internet and tell lies?
No one has ever lied. No one.
Wow. How does your mind work, man? Ah, gosh. It's like, I don't know. It's really a strange place and time to be living in, I guess. Don't worry about it too much, but you know, someone could casually accuse you of rape one day. Just, you know, whatever.
Happens every day.
What I don't get is like how people are so butt mad about people who are honest about it. Like, I don't know, like Mike Pence. He refuses to take meetings with women without his wife present, or you know,
what?
Or another person present. Yeah, Mike Pence refuses to have dinner with women alone.
Because
he
might just be accused of rape. Or... Right.
Yeah. If it's a he said she said situation, then there's no way to, you know, to mitigate that.
Oh god.
Yeah, and people are not very happy that he would do something like this. There's tons of people that do it now. Like, I call it the Pence defense.
Ooh. Oh, what a catchphrase. Pence.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a bunch of people out there now. Like, there's a streamer. His name is Ninja. He has a lot of followers.
Yeah. What's about him? What the fuck did he say? He has a lot of political fucking things to say, probably. Being Fortnite streamer.
Yeah, Fortnite streamer.
What the fuck did he say?
I think he said something like, I'm not doing partnerships with women.
Just
like
because. Okay, yeah, because yeah.
Because there's a lot of drama surrounding
you just cannot help but rape through internet.
Just
how, like you know, Darnis. Yeah,
what?
You know, you get it.
Apparently, it's more like it's not even the rape thing. It's more like he'll be accused of you know, having sex with her because, well, if you did a stream with someone, that means
that's what we do, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to tell anyone about it.
Oh, sorry. Well, no one will believe you anyways.
Yeah, but it's something like that. And people were very butt mad. Very butt mad. I think those people are just homophobic, really, because, you know, Ninja streams with men a lot, and, you know, gosh.
Oh, yeah, under the radar. That's a derailed discussion.
What were we even talking about?
I don't remember.
Orange Man bad.
Or-
Just yeah, just keep repeating that. It'll fix
it will
everything.
happen.
Everything will be.
Just keep
fixed.
building that
Everything will
wall
be good.
though.
I'm not even sure. Look, like I keep thinking about this, and it's like a wall is like, you know, you don't want your neighbor to go into your house, so you have like a door, right?
Yeah.
And that's like the most ethical way of keeping him out of your house, because you could do other things. You could beat up your neighbor, you know. You could put landmines in the doorway that only you know about.
Yes, I could.
You know, there's a lot of unethical ways,
Yeah.
you know,
You could.
to deal with your neighbor.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like-
they are. In America,
way
they are even
worse.
like legal, like you might say, unethical way. You could shoot them, you know. You could shoot
Yeah.
your intruders, you know. I guess for trespassing, you can even shoot someone. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
In
yeah.
Texas.
Yeah, you could. In Texas, yeah. In anywhere that has a stand your ground or castle doctrine law, and almost everywhere has a stand your ground law nowadays. I think only a couple of places don't, and that at that point, you know, you just gotta go to jail if you want to defend yourself.
Mm.
Just gotta, you know, take the hit. Yeah. So I mean, like a wall. Like, it would be better if we didn't have a wall, and it's a colossal waste of money. But it seems like a really ethical way of just not engaging with someone.
He had a bad rhetoric about it. He should go about something totally ridiculous. Like, okay, when I become president, we bomb Mexico. We destroy Mexico. And they're gonna be like, are you fucking mental? And I think after a few months it's gonna be, okay, you know, we're gonna put a wall. Is it better?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I
thought
guess.
about
Oh,
it,
yeah,
you know.
so that's rational. What the fuck? Bomb Mexico? My God, you're crazy. Yeah. Don't mention it.
That's a legitimate political strategy. It's called shifting the Overton window.
Yeah.
And so if you can get your political opponent on your side, then you don't have to be a side, right? If you could just get the other guy to say like, yeah, we need to build a wall, then like you've won. So, you know, I don't know. I think there's a caravan of people just barreling towards us. I don't know how that's like, I don't know, feasible at all. Like,
What is there? What is there?
there's a caravan of something like 4,000 people
Oh.
coming towards us from the Honduras.
Oh, okay.
And this happens like every year. There is a caravan, but right now it's heavily in the news because of the Trump administration.
Yeah. And
taking notice.
What's they gonna do with them?
Well, they're gonna give them asylum applications and let them go into the country.
Okay, that's. I don't. That's why that's what I agree with. Like, why wouldn't I have a say in who enters my country? That's what I agree actually with Trump. Like, that's my country, and those people who are living in there are paying for everything we do governmentally. So the other people don't have a right to say, like why people in Mexico don't have a right to say what we should do with our money when they are in Mexico, but they magically get, you know, like an influence while you're here. And it's illegal. Like that, like whatever you do, that's illegal. Like it's stated, isn't it? That this is illegal.
Not in California. Not in California.
Is California a border state?
No, they are a
Asylum, like.
yeah, they're a guardian city, or no, it wasn't a guardian city. It was what was it called?
Artistic hipsters, disgusting.
So what they do is they don't enforce immigration in that state. So if you make it to California, you're basically safe. You're
And yeah, that's,
citizen.
I mean, it's like the same thing that they have with homeless people, that they you can be homeless in California. Well, good luck. Now we have fucking shit and syringes on the street. Good luck. Nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can be homeless anywhere. You can be homeless anywhere. It's just that
Can
it's
you?
hot
Like,
in
but you can
California.
be anywhere, like physical city.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
But I don't think you can do that in everywhere. Like you cannot just lie anywhere in other cities. But you.
I think you can.
Can you?
I think
Okay,
you can,
okay.
yeah.
I thought it's like an
Yeah, there's
asylum
no
kind of
laws.
thing.
No, there's no like specific laws targeting the homeless. Damn it. What was I gonna say? Something about caravans. Something about caravans. Well. You asked what Trump is doing. Trump is taking away foreign aid from any country that doesn't stop that caravan. So far it's like Honduras and a couple other countries which get, a lot of money from us, and that money is kind of specifically to prevent this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Happening.
That wouldn't be wise to take that.
Yeah, it's kind of the hostage prisoner's dilemma, I guess. Prisoner's dilemma. Like you're screwed if you do, you're screwed if you don't. So, at least we have that money then, and we could use that for a wall or something. I don't know.
But can they just fly in?
Most of the people from south of us, I don't think they fly in. There's a large amount of people that, illegally immigrate into the United States, through, air transport. That's true. But those people are coming from like Europe and they overstay visas, so they were just, a lot of them are probably just, forgetful. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like I've forgotten to
to leave country.
No. To what's called, to get my visa renewed, right? Yeah. Not here, but in other countries. So I can kind of see how smug European comes to America and forgets to follow the rule of law. I can see that happening. I feel like that's not so bad. That's, they're just dumb, and these people are not dumb. They're doing something on purpose that should be illegal and is illegal, and I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. I could use hyperbole and call them an invading force, but I feel like that argument isn't as good as saying that, it's just not, tenable to do this. We can't just keep letting people in from the border forever. It's not gonna work out. A lot of people that come, Trump says they're not sending their best, but the point there is that there's a lot of drug trafficking. There are criminals. Who wants to leave their country? Like if I was a criminal, for instance, I would probably want to leave so that I can escape from law enforcement. Seems logical. So yeah, I don't know. Most of the people that I know might be illegals. They seem like decent people, but
most people are decent people. Yeah,
right.
Statistics.
It's still not like. That's not really a justification for having no borders. I don't think. I think that might be the stronger argument, that there is no kind of ethical justification for invading someone's land, because if you say something like, we have to let them in, it is, it's our moral imperative, there's no what's it called? It's kind of like duty ethics to let them in. At that point, you're basically justifying colonizing America.
Yes.
So those people rarely do that. They rarely are on the side of early European settlers. They're very against those people, actually. So, you know, I can see myself kind of justifying, you know, something like that. But I could never see that side justifying it. So, I don't know. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah, they don't think
place
about
to
that.
be in.
You know, they don't think about.
Yeah. So for them, it's a contradiction. For me, it's not as much. I think like if your guy tells you that, you know, Israel has a right to defend its borders, and then turns around and says we have to open up our borders, it's just really strange. I think like you can't have it both ways. I feel like if other countries have a right to defend their borders, I feel like so do we, and that's, you know, I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's whoa, you must be a racist.
Oh yeah, I like how even if you that's like thrown around, and even if they don't want people from other country, they called Polish government racist because they didn't want Ukrainians in. I'm like, do you fucking know what race is? You idiot. Jesus Christ.
How dare you be racist towards Ukrainians?
Yeah, how dare
I'm Ukrainian.
you be racist to someone that is looking exactly like you and lives like 500 kilometers of you? Like, you racist? You're gonna make that Ukrainian face.
So this is actually a thing. This is that they're trying to make into a thing. It's called like colorism, and so
this is gonna piss me off, isn't it?
Just slightly different color, and therefore you know, like black people hate like light-skinned black people.
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered that?
Yeah, but that's the like what's it called? Fuck. Jesus, what is this argument?
It's colorism, and it works opposite too. Apparently, like they have this argument that sounds like society values black people who have lighter skin more for some reason. I don't know. It just sounds really ridiculous. At that point, it seems like the difference is so small between those two types of people, and the same thing with Polish and Ukrainians. It's just we're not that different.
I mean, that's like just semantically wrong calling that racism. Just
sure.
You can go and call it nationalism, sure, but it's not racism.
Yeah, I think there's also another similar one where white supremacists really hate the Irish, and they say that they're not actually white.
Oh yeah, like Italians.
Yeah, and they also hate the Jews, and so they say that they're not actually white. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like
behind Jews there is like a genetically actually they are diverse. They're diverse enough genetically, so they are like relatively considered. Yeah.
I didn't know that you were a racist, Bazri.
Well, yes.
I didn't know that I invited a racist onto this program.
I'm perfectly fine. I'm safe. I listen to Shapiro, so I'm safe.
I have a Jewish friend. His name is Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like if you go on Wikipedia and you type in Jewish, it'll give you that they are an ethnic group.
Yes.
That's what's it called. And then there's actually multiple Semitic groups that are kind of very similar. They have the Sephardic Jews, the
Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazis, and I always forget the third one, but it sounds like Ethiopians or something like that. So I don't really, no one really cares about that.
Yeah,
Those
no
types.
one cares about Jews.
Oh God.
Oh god.
I can't believe you said this. So I don't know.
There's like so few of Jews actually. There's like several millions only.
Yeah, I wonder if it has to do with them being Holocausted.
Oh, there's only
and
6 million. Come on.
There's oh God, I can't believe we've done this.
Ooh.
The classic white supremacist line is, the Holocaust never happened, but it should have. So.
Ooh.
Oof.
Ooh, that's.
I'm Jewish myself, so I think it's okay for me to make this joke.
Ooh, are you?
God. Oh no. I'm like ethnically Jewish.
Mm.
That's how we even got here into America, is
Yeah,
because
they wouldn't let you in.
no, of course not. No,
Unless
that's
it's you
why
controlling stuff.
I am. Well, I mean, like we were running from anti-Semitism, and so I think it's justified
Have
in
you
my
been?
case.
Actually?
Yeah, sure. I would, yeah, I guess. I mean, it was a bad time in the. There's always anti-Semitism in like Russian countries.
Oh yeah,
That's
actually.
patently true.
That's actually,
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I get it now.
Yeah, I mean that's like, yeah. I mean, like, who doesn't hate the Jews?
Yeah,
in,
I mean,
these
like,
countries?
being fucking Jewish and or gay in Russia is, I think, yeah, big no-no.
Right? Yeah. Big no-no. Big no-no.
Big no-no.
So yeah. I mean, like, it wasn't, you know, the worst kind of discrimination, but maybe it was. Who knows? Maybe it was even worse.
But they were like non-practicing or
no, I mean,
yeah.
like none of us. Yeah, none
Yeah.
of us have practiced for a very long time. But
how do they know?
I have the nose.
You
the
have
nose
the
knows.
It's...
I have the
Oh
nose.
my god, I don't have a nose.
Wait, haven't you ever seen my Twitter?
I have to,
Like, I look
I have
really
to see
good.
your Jewish nose. That's
I look
haven't.
really
I
Jewish.
haven't. How is your Twitter?
Let me see. See, I've got the I opened up the photograph. This is actually an old photograph now.
There we go. Go to your
But the nose is bigger than most of my face. So,
but it's I don't know. It's not. It doesn't have this. You know the.
I'm a crypto Jew.
Curvature.
I guess I'm a.
Correct. Like.
Oh,
would-
I'm not Jewish enough for
If
Bazari.
if I was Nazi, I wouldn't. I would let you go. I know. I wouldn't.
That's how my grandmother survived the Holocaust.
Yes. Not Jewish nose enough. Hello? No.
Yeah. And we're gone. That's it. The stream has been taken off.
Oh.
You can't deny my Jewish privilege, Bazari.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I refuse.
That's all I have.
Oh, have you read this? I tweeted this out. I usually don't tweet these things out.
I have Twitter.
Oh wow, Bazar, you need to step up. Come on, step up, senpai.
How do I find you?
I'm Darnis Art. I'm Darnis Art everywhere.
Darnis Art.
I usually don't tweet
Why
these things. I just
Darnis?
kind of like them. That's been my moniker for like forever. So I just kind of incorporated it into the artist name. So, you know, I've always kind of been Darnis on other places. So, anyway, thin privilege. Thin privilege is having dogs play with you.
Yeah, I'm reading that.
Yeah. Amazing.
I consider myself a fairly active person, tennis 3 times a week, walking around town daily, etc. And I eat pretty healthily. Fast food or eating out only once a month, so I'm pretty healthy, but I'm also plus size. Yada yada yada. They're playing with a dog, and he tries to play with them, and the cousin responds, "Oh, they won't play with fat people." What? They don't play with fat people. Fat people don't run around fast enough to keep up. And they stop playing because they get tired, so the dogs don't bother. I was completely insulted by the insinuation that being fat meant that you couldn't run around and enjoy physical activity. But I decided to ignore him and grabbed my 2 tennis balls and threw them at the dogs. The dogs didn't chase them. They just sat there and stared at me, even though a minute before they were begging for the balls to be thrown. Thin privilege is not being discriminated against by dogs, and assumed incapable of physical activity by both the dog and the owner. It's awful.
Re-educate dogs.
Yeah. Thin privilege. Fat doesn't equal unhealthy. Yes, it does. But
It does.
fat discrimination. Trigger warning is the tags. I don't know. Like usually I just let this go because usually it's like it could be a, it could be a troll. It could be a poll because it's just too ridiculous. Who would,
too ridiculous. I don't want to believe it.
I don't want to believe.
I don't want to believe.
It's not true. It never happened.
Oh my god.
Never occurred.
But yeah.
My god, like European activists in this kind of spectrum are very much more light. Like they don't go full retard like that to this extent. I have a newfound what's it called? Respect.
I don't understand what the problem is with admitting that being fat means being unhealthy. I don't really get that.
This is just the same as like, oh no, smoking is, it's like objectively neutral. It's like, no.
I've been smoking for a long time and I haven't died, so therefore a pox on you and you're wrong. It's.
I mean, there are like genetic components to it. Sure, like there are things out of your control. Sure, but unless you fucking eat less calories than you burn, you're gonna be thin. Like, it's just, like we willingly do stuff every day that's good for us and like our surrounding, and that's just one thing that's also, a willing or not willing thing to do to, for your kids or for your fucking family, to not have to take care of your fat fucking ass when you're gonna be dying of diabetes without your limbs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. It's never been socially acceptable where I'm from to be fat. You were always kind of looked down upon. Here, it's kind of like, the norm to be fat. So, I don't know. It's just really strange to me being kind of Europeanized. Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And so this kind of natural progression from like it's okay to be fat to it's completely healthy to be fat just seems like it would have happened eventually, but it's just so like stunning to kind of see this. People need to accept that what they do carries health risks. It's just what it is, drinking coffee, like I drink coffee, probably carries a health risk.
Oh,
I'm
but
probably
I don't
picking
think
up
so.
picking up my it does, sure. Picking up my blood pressure, anything.
Oh yeah, but do you have like if you have regular blood pressure, it's okay to drink coffee unless you are hypotension, then hypertension, then okay, then it's a risk, sure.
No, there's always a price that you pay for, messing with the natural state of your function. You're putting a stress on your system. There's no magical like Goldilocks zone for like taking a biologically active substance and expecting nothing.
You could say that everything is like biologically active substance that you intake. Like, caffeine is gonna increase your blood pressure, but how many?
How is that different from drinking milk?
How many benefits and how many
not benefits? You don't get to make that. No, you don't get to make the comparison. No, absolutely not. There's no comparison between coffee and just anything else that you eat. It just doesn't exist. This is not how this game is played.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. Does milk raise your blood pressure?
No,
you drank some milk.
Okay,
no, it doesn't. So there you go.
But it activates your digestion, and it's
So that's the same thing?
yes, like
No.
gee, but
This is a bad joke. No, it's called a false equivalency. No, that's not how it works.
okay, but if you feel, for example, tired because you have a low pressure, it can be beneficial to you just to drink it.
I'm sure there's probably like one case where drinking coffee has beneficial,
And also, it promotes.
and it has nothing to do with what actually people who drink coffee experience. So that's like an edge case hidden somewhere in there where it's like, oh, well, I need coffee to keep my blood pressure up because I don't synthesize enough adrenaline or something, or my receptors are a little malfunctioning, and I need just a little bit more. But that's not at all what happens too. So this is it's kind of like drinking poison and pretending that it's not poison.
Like, there are studies like of comparing it to like bowel cancer, and like it for example decreases the chance of that, or like many other like digestive dysfunctions that it actually regulates because it promotes bowel movement. Like there is a balance, like of course it can give
and that balance is effectively wrong.
But I don't think that it's the hypertension.
So this is the
bigger.
I cut off my hand, so now I don't have to write anymore argument.
Well, I don't think so.
Yeah, there's probably it is. There's probably some benefit that's really, really minor and doesn't really matter. And so yeah, there is a balance in the wrong direction.
But we don't take into consideration
we do.
moderation of it. Like it's
most people don't moderate their coffee.
I drink 1 coffee a day.
Well, most people don't. Is
Well,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
but
I'm not saying that we need to
but
outlaw.
but that's with everything. Like you're
Yeah,
saying
sure.
I cannot drink like 5 gallons of milk a day. That's also gonna be bad for me. And I cannot drink the whole like jug of coffee because it's also gonna be bad for me. Like,
Okay, and no one is making that argument because no one is saying that you can't drink 5 gallons of coffee. I'm saying the 1 cup is bad for you and not the gallons of coffee. I'm talking about your daily use.
Yeah.
So
but
again,
that's,
so no one is
but
talking
that's
about the other one.
moderation Also, yeah.
Yeah, but it's still
There
costs you
there
something.
are things that are even in moderation bad, like smoking,
Like coffee.
like smoking.
And coffee.
No, like
Yeah, absolutely.
you can intake like a glass of wine, and it's been shown that 1 glass of wine actually is good for your blood, and it's good for your digestive system, and because it has like not.
I don't know.
Not
That research is again. So that's not coffee. That's something completely different.
Yeah, it
but
is, but you could say.
and
that
it's also
alcohol
not really good research. So I mean, like,
also has no like benefits while using it. I don't
well,
know.
see again. So you're saying that this research that has nothing to do with this thing means that there could be research that has to do with this thing, but there isn't any
What?
because reasons.
What?
You're making an analogy to something that's not analogous,
Why?
and you're saying, well, because
Dietary
you're not even saying
research about other thing is
again. So you're not even saying that. Look, I have research to say that you're wrong. You're saying I have research that exists for this thing, and so therefore there could be research that could at some point exist for the thing that I'm actually talking about, and that's ridiculous.
We're discussing if
Yeah.
if there are things that are beneficial to you in like moderation. So I'm just giving an example of, for example, red wine, because it has antioxidants, and coffee also has antioxidants.
Not enough to matter.
Yeah, not enough to matter, but 1 cup of
And-
coffee also has not enough to matter caffeine to.
It does.
I mean,
If
does,
it didn't,
but
you wouldn't
not
drink
to,
it.
Not to disturb your system.
If it didn't have any effect, you wouldn't drink it.
Well, I'm drinking it for taste. A lot of people drink it, but
No.
but there are people who also want to wake up. Sure, but if you're not addicted to it, to the point that you actually cannot function without it, it's I think an all right, and you balance your benefits. What are the what are the bad things about coffee?
Drawbacks of caffeine use?
Other than
Drawbacks of use of caffeine over long periods of time. There's tons of studies on this. I'm sure you could look it up. Would you like me to?
Yeah, sure,
You
but
could-
yeah, but then we can
Sure.
just exchange.
So higher blood pressure,
Yeah.
more just damage to your circulatory system, possible risk of arteriosclerosis.
But I
Things
don't
like
think
that.
we talk about moderation here also.
It is moderation, sure. I mean, this is a risk factor. Every risk factor
Yeah,
is like
but
this.
that's
And
for-
so
that's-
most people don't drink
that's for
a lot of
everything, isn't
coffee. No, because there's no, super healthy amount of stuff to smoke. And
Yeah,
same
there
thing
is.
with there's no healthy amount of heroin, there's
But there is
there's-
healthy amount of coffee.
no, there isn't. That's what I'm
Well,
trying to tell you.
I guess we're not gonna go anywhere with that.
No, because you keep saying that there is,
Yeah,
and
because
like
I
presenting
know
no
there are a lot
proof.
of benefits to it, and they
Yeah.
outweigh the risk that's gonna be circulatory. Because I
Kidney.
don't think that this dose that I'm talking about is.
Well, I mean, you just
Yeah.
don't know. So you're saying like, oh, well, I think therefore that's it. But like, look, if you look up, risk factors of prolonged coffee use.
But
You
then
actually
I
get
can
something.
find the benefits too. So there's like
No, but that's not like studies. That's like what's it called?
I can find studies.
Sure, bring me that study about the long-term use of coffee and how it's beneficial towards your erection or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So like, just because those benefits, the minor benefits might exist, they don't outweigh the benefit, the long-term bad effects that I'm talking about. You're like, well, yeah, it's just a little heart disease, but think about your stronger erections, man. It's like, yeah, well, one of those things is life-threatening and the other isn't. There's a value there, right? One is worse, much worse than the other one. Don't you think?
Well, sorry, I was reading something.
Sure. It's the next thing on the chopping block. Moderate concentrations inversely significantly associated with CBD risk, with the lowest CBD risk up to 3 to 5 cuts a day, and heavy coffee consumption was not associated with elevated CBD risk. So, I mean,
6 cups.
there is some.
6 cups.
3 to 5 cups is like, what kind of coffee are they drinking, There's different types. 3 to 5. So 3 to 5 cups per day. I don't know how much coffee you drink. I drink 1 cup, but it's a big cup.
It's a
And
big cup.
It's actually, yeah. So it's actually 2 cups. And I'm wondering what size cup they used for their
But
what's it called.
When we talk about plants, like a lot of plants have natural pesticides, and actually the caffeine is also a pesticide, which just reacts to the nervous system, and they actually, that's why we get the
Pesticide?
buzz.
Huh?
But a lot of plants we
Pesticide?
consume. Yes, pesticide.
What do you mean pesticide? What do you mean? Like it kills?
Insecticide.
Plants?
Insecticide.
Oh.
Sorry.
It kills insects? What?
Yes. Coffee. That's the
So-
natural. That's natural defense of
What do you-
caffeine plant.
Oh, okay. So
It's
Okay,
it's
so where are you
neurotoxic.
going
It's
with this?
neurotoxic. Little, things. And in this,
yeah, there's a lot of things you can't measure. For I'm sure there's other factors. This is a very small one, and it
What?
already found.
I'm sorry. What are you?
like-
What are you referring to?
Well, they're not testing for every factor. They're testing only for cardiovascular because it seems like the natural culprit. But they didn't.
That's,
they
but
didn't
I'm,
go
I'm,
for
I'm
kidneys,
talking, I'm
and they
talking
didn't go for
about
lungs.
that. A lot of plants have natural pesticides, but we consume those plants, but we just don't react to those pesticides. But they are still, they're still being digested. And so, like kind of many plants that we eat have those.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the point is that you're saying? Because other plants have pesticides?
Yeah, I mean that's
Huh?
they are also things that are reacting with our organism that are not caffeine, but we still eat them, consume them, and digest them just fine.
I'm not. I'm really. I think we don't drink caffeine for its pesticide.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
abilities.
we don't.
Like,
We
what?
don't.
I'm not sure I understand. It's not that. I'm not even sure if it has. Like, we drink caffeine for the effect. The effect is viscerally palpable, right? You drink to get a higher blood pressure.
Yeah, some dopamine rush and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, like, and you're kind of saying, like, well, this higher blood pressure has no effect, and that doesn't seem to make sense to me. Like, picture yourself constantly under stress. We call this psychological stress. Working a hard job, and you're like, oh, well, then, it's just a little stress.
Well, yeah,
it's
but
like
also
that person has.
caffeine releases dopamine release, so it's not.
Those things don't balance out.
Vascular
Those are
stress.
two different things. So again, you're doing this thing where it's like, here are two effects that have nothing to do with each other. See, if you said like, oh, well, it also releases a chemical that cancels out the heart failure, then yeah.
Those things like just
no, you
stress
don't.
is just the higher blood pressure and the hormones that are like the stress hormones. But when you are happy, blood pressure elevated. But we don't consider those.
No, we don't, because they're not important. No, they're not, because again, you're saying like your blood pressure doesn't go up because it doesn't go up for that other reason. Again, so you have to say like it doesn't go up in this case at all. Otherwise, you're saying it doesn't go up, but it also doesn't go up for this reason. But it does go up. So like what is even the thing? What is even the point?
But we're discussing harmful effects.
Yeah, but you're saying the blood pressure doesn't go up from this thing.
No.
And it's like, yeah, it's going up from the other thing.
That it does go up.
Uh-huh.
But I'm also saying that it does go up. We've been talking. I thought that there is a release of dopamine, but you're saying that there is just the increase of the elevation of or the pressure when you're stressed. There is.
See, the dopamine increases your blood pressure.
I mean, also, but that's not the. That is also the thing that happens when you consume caffeine.
Again, like I'm not getting this.
Okay.
This is going over my head because it sounds like, well, it does increase your blood pressure, but because there's a dopamine release, it wouldn't increase your blood pressure if there wasn't a thing that made your blood pressure go up, which is fine.
But
If you weren't drinking coffee, your blood pressure wouldn't go up. Is what you're saying.
It's purely harmful.
Again, yeah. So you're saying. No. So you said like your blood pressure wouldn't go up, because of the dopamine. If you weren't.
I haven't said that.
You did say that. You said
I
your
haven't
blood
said
pressure
that.
wouldn't
I
go
haven't
up
said that.
because of the dopamine.
No,
You said the
I haven't
dopamine.
I said only that
You
there
did
is
say that.
And
No, you can't Jordan Peterson your way out of this. You
No,
did
I'm
say the
not doing
dopamine.
that. I
You said
there is a
dopamine.
release of and
Right.
elevate blood pressure. I said exactly the opposite of what you're trying to say. That I
Wait,
said.
you said that it elevates your blood pressure now?
Yes, also.
Oh, wow, okay, that's interesting. Because I distinctly remember something like, well, because you're getting dopamine, you're happier, and so your blood pressure goes down.
No,
I
I
really
just
remember you
said
saying
it
that.
releases dopamine. I haven't said that you're happier and your blood goes down. And it was specifically to your argument that you get stressed all the time. And I said, yes, but when you stress, your elevated blood pressure is there, but there is not like a dopamine release. And then I said that it's with coffee, it is there. It's like
And
you,
so this
for
makes
example,
coffee
when
better
you are,
how?
when you are excited or happy about something, you have your blood pressure up too, but also the dopamine release. That's what I was saying. Well, we can we're not gonna get anywhere with it, I guess. And I haven't fucking modeled anything.
So, as far as I remember, dopamine increases your blood pressure. So
Yeah.
I just like I keep hearing like, well, because there's dopamine released. Like there's dopamine released when you're drinking coffee, but there's probably dopamine. That's the mechanism of its action. So it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense what you're saying. Like, the dopamine is released and therefore it's not as bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the dopamine is the way that you get higher blood pressure.
Also.
Right.
But you guys also have the dilated blood vessels too. So it's not the same as like when you're stressed. Vasopressin was the
psychoactive central nervous stimulant. Alright, so here's how it works. No. I have to actually open up a textbook. Damn it, Bazri, I don't want to open up a textbook.
Yeah.
To learn what the pathway for caffeine metabolism is right now. Cause I don't remember, I thought it was, what's it called? It's very complex, apparently. There's a lot of stuff going on. It goes to xanthine, and that's a psychoactive neurostimulant. So I think it actually results in dopamine being released, as well as, you know, vasoconstriction.
Is it vasopressin?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, by definition. Can't read these signs. They're like signs for ants.
1 second. I have to call. 1 second. Be right back.
I don't know. I would actually have to do research to figure out exactly how it's metabolized, but it doesn't seem like it's the way I thought about it. It seems much more complex. No, that's not even the right thing. Alright, whatever. I feel like it just transfers into paraxanthine and then paraxanthine, and then from there antagonize adenosine receptors. Okay, so it doesn't, it's just, okay, I was thinking of it wrong. So it's just the thing in itself. the caffeine itself just antagonizes the adenosine receptors, and then it also releases dopamine. Somehow. And then the dopamine also does. Dilates blood vessels, increases. It's not a vasopressin, or at least 12% of it isn't. I feel like this, like 84% increases lipolysis. That's it. And just the excess glycerol makes you hyped. Doesn't sound. Okay, here it is. Okay, so it's an antagonist for adenosine receptors. Raises plasma and epinephrine, so that's, you know, adrenaline. And then diastolic blood pressure. Use in serum fatty acid concentration. Increase the transfer of potassium items into, well, okay, that doesn't do much other than activates those muscles. Anyway, you know, there's no free lunches. There's no such thing as just a little bit of that heroin. Just a little bit. It's always enough to make a medically viable effect, right? And there's like, what is medicine, right? It's the difference between poison and treating your disease is the dosage. And so the amount of coffee that we drink is, you know, not enough to kill us, but it definitely has an effect. And pretending like this effect is just like as if you didn't drink coffee, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Most people like their addictions. So. I would probably try to justify it too. This is almost done. I just need to get a couple of things in here. I feel like I need to do some more research on coffee now. See, that's that autism. Oh boy. write a paper. You know, it's actually really rare to have research kind of go against the idea that it was meant to debunk. So, for instance, tobacco research was funded by Big Tobacco. And when they were bringing back, like, hey, by the way, not really good, not really bueno. It was kind of a surprise. But I think the explicit thought that, you know, there's no hurt in using this, so I'm going to not moderate it. There's no, you know, amount of coffee that could hurt me. I think that's pretty bad. I think you should always kind of have in the back of your mind that there is an amount of coffee that can kill me. I'm obviously not gonna drink that much, but yeah, same thing with alcohol. A lot of people have this kind of nonchalant way of, they're just saying, oh, you know, just a little bit of drinking, but usually that, you know, turns into a lot of bit of drinking. So you just kept that thought in the back of your mind that, hey, this is bad, probably would get further. All my dreams of being sponsored by Big Coffee are now gone down the drain. I wish I never said anything, because free coffee would have been great. I think even before the research hit, people knew that smoking really wasn't good for you. I'm pretty sure it came as no surprise, you know.
I'm back, sorry. The phone.
Hey, Basri, what's up?
Good. Oh my god. How are you doing? What you haven't looked at your stream for a while?
I don't know, chat died, so I've just been sitting here.
Just your usual. Jeez,
Yeah.
the streams. I don't know how to stream. You should gauge some camera things, because it seems to be a good effect on the population when you have a camera. And those thoughts are a good example. Oh, I found.
What are you saying?
What?
You're using cameras to catch prostitutes?
Yes, I'm using AI to catch prostitutes. No,
Smart.
I was saying that we need cameras to get more views as those thoughts.
Oh God, why did you say that?
What?
Can't. You're gonna get banned.
For saying thoughts?
Yeah,
Why can't I
that's
say
it.
thoughts?
You're gone. Well,
They are
just
thoughts.
you're dehumanizing. You're dehumanizing.
Well, they don't then stop being a thought.
Well, the Polish are being banned today, I guess. No more Polish streamers. Why? Why is that?
Build a wall. From Poland. Just middle of the Antarctic.
Basri hates women. Good to know.
Is this someone said in your stream that? No, you said that, okay. That was your opinion, okay.
My opinion, yeah.
Okay, good, nice. I'm glad. Well, I don't hate them. They're okay, I guess.
Well,
Trying to model some futuristic, what is it called, ammo clip. It's hard to think of something new in this area. It's been done like 100. Oh wait, someone is calling me again. My God. Jesus Christ. 1 second.
Polish call center operated by Basri. I'm wondering if I could just maybe merge some of this. It doesn't seem so out of the blue. Trying to come up with a neat armor design. What armor designs are? Hold on. Oh, hey Turbo. What's up, dude? Must have missed that one. See, this is what I was talking about. Missed chats.
Okay. Hello?
Hey.
Okay.
Trying to make the armor flow with his body, but at the same time be unique and interesting.
Yeah, it's kinda cool. I like the design. Very oriental.
Yeah, I always have this kind of weird Asian flavor in there.
You weeb.
Not a weeb. The Japanese just make the best designs.
Is it katana in your in his chest?
That was katana the whole time. Murdered by samurai. I don't know. There's so much good stuff, like design-wise, that Japan produces that it's just hard not to be a weeb.
Hard enough.
It's
car.
Yeah. Like cars, for instance.
Cars.
Asian cars just look so much better than American ones.
Well, American cars are just big.
Boxes.
Big kind of boxes. Yeah, because you can fit the most volume by making it a box.
Yeah.
I guess it's the American way. Yeah, Japanese cars are kind of cool looking. And very slim because they have fucking cities that they have to fit in.
Yeah. Yeah, different functional concerns.
Yeah, and also gasoline is much more expensive there, so.
And they care about the environment.
Well, yeah.
Americans don't care about the environment. Just don't care, man. Maybe they do, but
Deep inside.
you know. Yeah, deep inside, somewhere deep inside.
I mean, they care about the environment. One fucking kills a lion on Instagram, but then they're fucking gonna complain
the only time.
about it in their fucking 3-ton Mustang.
We love the environment when it's convenient.
And in Africa.
Yeah, in Africa, not here. I don't know. I feel like PETA is a false flag because they're kind of the worst way to argue for whatever it is that they're arguing for.
PETA is basically fucking green Antifa.
Yeah, at this point. It didn't used to be that way. Used to be good boys.
What's it called? The Greenpeace? Greenpeace is also mental. Like there was this guy that was their like original creator of PETA, and he left because they just started to be they had no, they didn't took into consideration any economics and like amount of damage. It was just, it's bad, and then don't do that. And there's like
animals good, humans bad.
Yeah, basically. But PETA is, I don't know, the only time I hear about PETA is when they take another naked Hollywood star and they make photos with not for. That's all I hear of PETA nowadays.
Well, they figured out how to monetize outrage, because recently their latest headline was milk is a form of white supremacy, and so you should stop drinking milk. Also,
how is it? Because it's, well, how is it? How?
It's symbolic. Strong bones
because
are
it's strong Aryan bones.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Yes, I don't know.
It's white supremacy. Because we milk lower classes.
The milk. Well, no, because they want the cows to be released, I guess, from the prisons.
Imagine
the
that.
milk prisons. So I guess they're willing to make up anything. Milk being a white supremacist symbol is, I don't know, it's just super ridiculous. I don't know who would buy that, but I'm sure someone out there, it's like,
there is someone. Oh my god. Yeah. I guess, okay.
Someone out there. I feel like on the other side of that, someone's gonna go like, huh, this actually is a really good meme. Let's actually turn it into one of these symbols.
Yeah,
Let's do
it's
that.
gonna be just, fucking left-hand meme again.
The boomer left. Can't meme. Sure, they could if they, didn't outlaw being funny. Unfortunately, when you limit what you can say, you're also kind of limiting what your brain can even think of. And so this is kind of like an argument that Orwell made in his book, that if you just take away enough words, then you could no longer resist.
And that's like the right wings, the right wings. They have memes like making them into like Nazis just for fun, but left cannot do that. They can't seem to soy boy themselves, even if they know they're not soy boys or Nazis. They cannot make fun of that.
I don't know. I think they're starting to lose, like, in arenas where they used to just be able to do whatever they want. Like, there's a lot of people that are getting fired for saying something on Twitter that are leftists now. So it's like, I'm not sure if you should feel bad, but I kind of do anyway, even though it's ironic that the people that wanted this to happen are now feeling it themselves. I still think it's not a good thing. No. Even if they're, even if they have it coming, it's just not great. And they have it coming because they wanted the this to happen to other people. So I don't know. Maybe soon they will be able to meme, because they're also gonna get fired for thought crime on Twitter. So who knows?
Ability to meme.
You've gained the ability to meme. I think it comes from a deep place deep inside. It's not just like understanding like what's funny. It's kind of, or even like cultural references. It's like there is something else in there, in that mix of making memes. So, and it seems like a place of deep sadness.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you kind of have to lay out. It's like a lot of it is like self-deprecating. It's usually makes a good meme if it's kind of in your acknowledging that something about you.
Like Pepe the Frog.
Yeah, like Pepe,
I mean,
exactly.
Who wants to be a frog, man?
Want to be Nazi frog?
Just think about it. That's that. That's just how it is. Don't ask questions, just accept it.
I was thinking about it for 8 months. It's so goddamn complex.
Yeah. I don't know. He has a meat diet now.
Yeah.
I don't know. What does it take to call someone a snake oil salesman? I think having a meat diet is just one of those things. I'm not sure.
I mean,
maybe.
like, he has there is a lot of on the fucking meat, and they just preach that and say every fucking plant, fuck plants. But that's stupid. But he's actually like that. But he took it from his daughter. Yeah, right. Because she had like a lot of autoimmune stuff. So like, but with her, like through the elimination, basically she came to conclusion that whatever she eats other than meat over the years, it makes her suffer. But there's not enough studies on that, so that might be like nutrient deficient immunosuppression, also. So it works for her because everything else is just worse. Because she's actually like she has like joint replacements at like 29 or something, yeah. So it's like she's actually like whatever she eats, other than meat, she seems to have like comeback of like terrible autoimmune. But yeah, but it might be bad overall because it's like nutrient deficient immunosuppression. So it's but he has it too, but like lower. But so he's just basically eats carnivore because I don't know.
Huh. I don't think it's autoimmune because, well, meat is protein, and protein is the thing that usually triggers your immune system. So it would be really weird, that they were autoimmune to something else. I mean, it could happen. I mean, like you could have a certain protein that's only found in like grain or something. Like you could get celiac disease.
Yeah. I mean, that's
or something like that.
but
But
basically, it's autoimmune response. Yeah.
yeah,
But it triggers osteoporosis in them apparently. Osteoporosis, not what the fuck am I getting? Arthritis. It's like the inflammation of joints.
Like reactive arthritis. Oh,
yeah. So
that sounds interesting.
It's supposed to, yes. Then she had like 50 joints inflamed. That's basically every joint.
Usually in those reactive arthritis, like gout, usually it's eating meat or drinking alcohol that causes it. So it's really strange, but I guess it could happen.
I mean,
maybe
yeah,
that's
why that's why they there are concerns that it's just nutrient deficiency that causes that, because your body isn't your immune system is not strong enough to cause self inflammation, like destructive one. So it's like it's not a long-term solution to not eat veggies. Because we don't know. It's like really badly studied. I was listening to Rhonda Patrick. You know Rhonda Patrick?
No, I have no idea.
Rhonda Patrick is she is a microbiologist, and she studies like dietary, and then she's actually very well versed in this kind of stuff. And
microbiologist.
I don't remember what she's a.
Yeah, that sounds a little weird.
She's studying.
Microbiologist.
Dr. Rhonda Patrick.
I don't know. I feel like Peterson's selling a diet. That's all I'm hearing. Maybe it works. I don't know.
It because she doesn't get any fucking money from that, I guess.
I don't know. I think his daughter has a book on it, doesn't she?
She has a
whole thing?
She has a blog.
Okay, so they're selling influence. Maybe I don't know. Because
who isn't?
It sounds really strange. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I don't know if it's the same as saying like, okay, this guy is a YouTube star, or this person is a authority on nutritionology just out of nowhere. I guess it's like the one place you could be an expert right now without.
Rhonda Patrick has a PhD in biomedical science from the University of Tennessee Health Center, bachelor science degree in chemistry, biochemistry, the university. She investigates link between mitochondrial metabolism, apoptosis, and cancer. Okay, so yeah. It's like diet wise, she's a nice expert, and she has a YouTube channel, obviously, and she's mental because she's actually using like whatever find there is. She's actually practicing if it's safe enough. But she's really, because she quotes research papers on this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard her.
No. You don't listen to Joe Rogan, yeah?
I do sometimes.
Oh, so
but, like,
she was there
when,
for like 5 times.
Yeah, on when it's actually a guest I care about.
Yeah. So Rhonda
When-
Patrick is really.
Yeah,
Really-
if I've never heard of him, you know, then not gonna too many. Cause
She-
like Joe has a lot of guests. He has a lot of guests.
But Joe has a nice because she really well works with him because Joe always he likes diet, but he has sometimes like very bro science on his fucking diets. Like he's like, yeah, just eat this, it's good for you sometimes. But she calls him on the bullshit often. so it's a nice check when she's in because he will say like, oh, I heard eating that and that, it's like doing this and this to this and this, and she'll be like, yeah, but not really. There's a research, people died, so so it's like a good check on Rogan's fucking diet shenanigans, neuroscience.
Yeah, I've never heard his
Never?
his diet
Jesus,
tips.
he
no.
always is fucking throwing this. Okay, maybe with different guests. What guests?
Yeah.
What guests are you watching?
Peterson, the Weinstein brothers, Ruben, Sam Harris,
Well, Sam Harris was there
Let's
once.
see, who
I
is-
guess. Didn't he?
Ruben, yeah, Sam Harris was there twice. I
Oh, okay.
think. Oh yeah. Who else? People like, gosh, British guy. I forgot his name. Really
The
smart.
crazy hippie one?
No,
Oh, okay.
he's a well-studied historian. Gosh, what was his name?
Daniel Bolelli? Oh, no, the fucking Italian guy. The hardcore history one, yeah?
Yeah, I remember his story was something like tenure at Princeton, came over to America, wrote a couple books. Neil Ferguson. Who else? Another British guy was a really good guest on Rogan. Fuck, what was his name? He's like a British, something like a talking head, I guess.
Talking head.
Yeah, he's a people who talk. What's a talking head?
Oh yeah, I actually don't know what's talking head.
I'm creative official. Just hopping in to say hi before I go to sleep. This looks really good. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
Hello.
And hello. And have a good rest. What is a talking head? A talking head is like Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
He's a person who talks.
Okay.
He doesn't have a what's it called? There's no degree in what he's doing. I guess political science would be the closest one, but it's not that he's making any sort of claim in that sphere. He's more like a polemicist rather than a researcher or a
He's an advocate, isn't he?
right, yeah, something like that.
Lawyer.
Yeah, but he does have a poli-sci degree. But it's basically advocating for certain positions to a large group of people. So it's a polemicist, basically. Sam Harris is a polemicist. Jordan Peterson, I guess, now is a polemicist. I don't know. And he's kind of a talking
Are you
head.
using this like
Hmm?
negative connotation?
Well, I think it comes from the word polemic,
Yeah.
and that
yeah.
is to be negative.
Oh, to discuss,
right.
I guess. Just to discuss.
Right, but in a negative. But it's like being a polemicist isn't bad, but being a talking head is basically being on like, a news show and just talking about things that you don't really know
This
that much
is
about. But
not-
you can make a solid argument.
This is not my beautiful house. What?
A talking head is like David Byrne. I've never heard of David Byrne. He must be a Britisher. Fucking British people.
Fucking British.
Sounds British.
Jesus.
Sounds British, right? And no one likes the British. No, I'm kidding. I love the British. They're great. What's the guy I was thinking of? He's British guy. Let me see. British polemicist. This gosh, on Joe Rogan. He also has a, let's see. Fuck, he has this like really regular name that I can never remember. He's been on Ruben too.
Smith.
I could probably, no. Let me see. Let me just check Ruben's what's it called videos. I'll find him real quick.
The gay Nazi.
Yeah, Ruben is a Nazi, of course. But Glenn Beck is a talking head. Just so we have a baseline. That is the talking head. He's just a guy that talks. Doesn't really say anything smart, but let's see. Musk. Elon Musk on Joe Rogan was a good guest. Peter Thiel, I don't remember if he was there. I don't think he did. Or did he do Rogan? I forget.
I think at this point everyone did Rogan.
Let's see. If I could just find this one guy. There's a lot of like slippery science for nutrition, I find. So that's why you have all these people kind of getting in on it. Everyone has a nutritional recommendation.
Yeah, because it's hard to like there is not like a good diet, like the best diet. Like
what is best diet? Yeah,
yeah,
best
like, there's nothing to like there is best, like there is good diet if you're in this kind of state, but yeah, it's like super fucking
best diet. Oh, Douglas Murray. Yeah, I always forget his name.
Douglas Murray, yeah.
Yeah, he was really good on Rogan. Who else did I see on Rogan? Sargon of Akkad.
Oh yeah, I guess.
It's a guest. How many guests do you need? I watched like plenty of it. I mean, it's like hours and hours. I haven't watched, like if I look at, let's see, Joe Rogan. He just has so many friggin' videos, man.
Well, there is like 1,000 something now.
Alex Jones.
Oh. that's a
yeah. If you look at my thing, it's not really
one.
all that
that's
red.
A fun one.
Let's see who I could. Yeah, see, like I miss a lot of episodes. I only tune in when it's like
crazy shit going down.
When it's like, you know who else? Kyle Kalinske. Oh yeah, here, Kyle Kalinske. Douglas. You don't know who Kyle Kalinske is? It's like one of the original. Here's Peterson. I watched Peterson. Yeah, not a lot of red for Joe Rogan. Best of the weeks. Sometimes I watch because they usually like for most of the boring guests. Like, oh, he did. What's his name?
Oh, there is one down.
Fuck, Reggie Watts. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that later.
Oh, Reggie Watts is crazy.
Yeah, but he's cool. I like him.
And entertaining as fuck.
I used to watch a lot of his like music videos.
Yeah. It's like ridiculous, just ridiculous. I mean, that's what you want.
Stuff. Let's see. Yeah, not a big Joe Rogan fan. Fake fan detected. Let's see. No, I definitely watched Joe Rogan, Alex Jones. Oh, this was a PSA or something. He has so many guests. It's unreasonable to have watched every single one of these. it's just unreasonable. Like you would have to literally just.
I maybe watched like
Here's Peterson. I
200.
watched these. I feel like some of them didn't register. Oh, I have to watch 200?
No, I mean I maybe watched like 200 of those.
Oh. Yeah, I watched like 24 maximum.
Okay.
24, maybe 30.
Oh no, I play it in the
the-
background. It's always nice to when I paint.
Yeah, but then you're not like you don't get all that information. Like I need to be engaged.
Oh no,
Okay.
I have like some people I'm really like audio. When I read something, I'm retarded. I cannot get any information. Like I'm very bad at getting information from reading something, but I'm really good with visual from audio with audio.
Hmm. Yeah, 600. I'm just in like 500s now. This is too many. There's too many Joe Rogans. I haven't watched them all.
There is too many.
I should have just reloaded my chat. God damn it. Why did I do that? No. Oh no. I don't know what to do now.
What?
I just reloaded my chat.
There is nothing new.
It's not loading. I'm gonna restart it. Whatever. But yeah, it's like there's too much Joe Rogan.
There is a lot of Joe Rogan.
Because like if you're also watching Sam Harris and you're also watching the Rubin Report and you're also I'm a bigger fan of Rubin Report, I guess. Because I prefer him as a background noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For Joe, I like when I'm watching Joe Rogan, I need to be engaged and I need to engage with the material like very deeply, and so I don't like to watch it as background noise. I like to like this. It's usually like celebrities anyway, like Peterson or So I need 100%, 100%, because I also remember a lot of what what is said, and so I can't do that because I usually want to talk about it with like friends, and so it's like after it's just that Peterson has become kind of stale lately.
He hasn't posted anything very.
Except that interview. Did you even see the beef interview?
The which one?
The beef interview.
The beef interview. I don't.
Yeah, he does. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, he did a morning show where he discussed the diet. He's like, look, okay.
No, I haven't.
So
actually watched that.
Here's what happened. I'm not making any conclusions, okay? But look, 1 week after this diet, I stopped snoring. Okay, so what does that mean? I make no conclusions. There's just but this diet, I lost 52 pounds within 3 months, and I thought to myself, that's a lot, right? So I'm not saying it's the best diet, but I'm also not saying it's not. So take that for what you will.
Yeah.
And it sounds something like that. Let me see if I can.
Fair enough.
Let me see if I, because like
after this diet, I became God.
Yeah.
I don't draw any conclusions.
Let me see if I can.
I can move objects at will with my mind.
Ah, here it is.
Just after 1 week. Two bodies. Cut. Keep those. Good. This has to go.
Can't find it. Let me open. Let's see, diet. Here it is. Let's see. Jump.
but I decided to
No,
try
what?
a more restricted diet. And first of all, it was just meat and greens, and then I stopped eating greens too about 5 months ago, and her mother has been doing the same thing for about 8
Oh,
months.
okay. No, I haven't seen that. I haven't.
The consequences have been, they're hard to believe.
Oops.
I don't even really like to talk about them because I'm not a dietary expert, and it sounds so
I'm
completely
not an expert.
insane.
But
But I lost 52
What?
pounds in 7 months.
52 pounds?
Yeah, and I wasn't overweight. Well, I was, but not by modern standards. No, and you know, a year before that, I had cut all the sugar out of my diet, but I was still eating carbohydrates of all sorts, and I lost like 3 pounds.
What the fuck is lying on this?
And then I
door
tried this
on
diet.
this
It was like the
table?
first, here's what happened. This is what happened.
It looks like
In the first week I tried this diet, this was just meat and greens essentially. I quit snoring. That was way before any weight loss. It's just like it just off. And I was snoring a lot. It was disrupting my wife's sleep. So I thought, oh, that's really interesting. I quit snoring. Isn't that weird?
that's really interesting.
Then I lost 7 pounds the first month. I thought, that's quite a lot.
7 pounds in the first month. Huh. Really makes you think. Wow. Just meat and greens, guys. It's not rocket science.
Meat and greens is okay. It's okay. I cannot, you can't go fucking wrong with meat and greens. That's okay. That's okay. I eat meat and greens.
What was he eating before? Like, what the fuck? Like,
no, I think.
Well, but look,
is...
okay. I cut out, McDonald's breakfast, and like it had to have been something completely unreasonable to be 7 pounds in 1 month. Okay, it's like, oh man, I was eating French fries from 3 days ago that were thrown out of Burger King. That was my whole diet, man. And like I didn't know that you were supposed to eat meat and greens. And I'm not an expert, but it's a really good diet.
I mean, yeah, but there's no many people meat and greens. Just a lot. You would be surprised. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I just started follow good diets. Yeah, just very many Americans are fucking fat, and it's
well, he's right in a certain aspect. Like you could make an argument that if your diet is like 100% carbohydrates, you're gonna lose a lot of weight if you switch to meat and greens.
Yes, that's I think what's happened there.
But I don't know, the way he talks about it, just like it sells it as like something superhuman. It's not just regular dieting.
Super diet.
It's a mythological diet,
Dragons. Dragons meat.
Beef, it's like what kind of meat is beef? It's the best meat. Mythologically. Wait, hold on. I wrote up a whole.
Oh god.
I wrote up a whole satire, but I never read
Teach
it
you.
anymore. Yeah.
Oh,
What do I do?
You think.
Well, what if I mean, I've thought about this a whole lot, and what if the diet doesn't actually matter?
Is this satire already, or are you just talking?
Like, at all. What matters is actually the belief in the diet. I think what the Solzhenitsyn diet, when he was in the gulag, he must have thought about food quite a lot, and he lost a lot of weight. So, okay, what matters is actually the instantiation of the belief in the diet, and not just any diet, one of beef. And man, beef is actually not like any other meat. It's methodologically the best meat. It has meaning, okay? Do you get that? God, it's like these Marxists, they don't even understand they need to eat beef. That's probably why they starve everyone. God.
I think putting something about that the cow is sacred in India is good.
Yeah.
That's, I guess that sounds like what he would put there. Like
and the Indians, they really like cows, so it makes sense
sacred,
that this diet works.
Is this coincidence? Well, I don't think it's older than Christianity. It's older than apes. It's older than It's before time actually.
Yeah, why would they like eating beef, you know, if it wasn't good for you. It doesn't make any sense, you know. It has to be true. It's mythologically true. Oh, I wrote this up and no one, I usually do these for, with the voice, and so we're usually having a discussion, but lately, there's no real point to talk about Peterson, because he's kind of a dead meme. So, no one talks about Kermit anymore. So my impression is useless. All this time for perfecting it, and
Oh, he will do like, yeah, I think he will release like new lectures. So it's gonna be, because he's dead with content now, I guess.
yeah, I don't know if he's gonna release anything. I feel like it's kind of like it's over. It's over for the Marxists. Because I don't know. Every time I listen to Peterson, it's always kind of the same thing. Oh, it's the postmodernists. They don't believe in value, and then like, well, you're a postmodernist. Like, if you don't agree with me, so what does that mean? You know, that means you're wrong, bucko. I don't know. It's mostly the same rehash over and over and over. It's like being beaten by a bludgeon over and over and over. I get that he's a teacher, and like teachers repeat themselves. Like that's how they teach.
I mean, yeah, but maybe you had a lot of exposure to him, So
yeah.
There are certain arguments that he makes because this is the way he thinks about those things. So that if he's gonna be asked about one argument, he's just gonna not make another. He would be much more infuriated if he made another different statement.
Maybe. I don't know. I do want him to say something new and interesting that's not, it's the Marxist, the neo-Marxist conservative, or neo-Marxist advocates, postmodernists. I want to hear something new. I don't know. Is that too much to ask? Maybe it is. I feel like it's not, though. I feel like it's not.
Oh, 1 second.
There's not much to go here. I just have to... fill out this one area. That'll be a lot. I don't know what I'll do with the background, actually. That'll be like one of those things that I just don't. I'm thinking about my definition of talking heads now. I'm like, wait, am I a talking head? No. It's the kids who are out of touch. I guess no one actually thinks of themselves as that. They don't have enough awareness. But I'm here because I want to do art. It's not that I want to talk about these things. I just get really bored sitting here. So, I might throw in a weird fact that you didn't know about caffeine or something. Wow, caffeine is bad for you? I don't want to hear it. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are bad for you that most people don't really want to hear. Sugary drinks. Most of the things that we enjoy are bad for you. Alcohol, coffee. We enjoy them because they're bad for us. I think maybe it's kind of like this is a large claim that I've been working up to. It's because there's a lot of memes about wanting to die, and that's maybe that ties very deeply into into like some kind of self-destructive psychology, and maybe drinking coffee is actually actualizing, putting into action that necessity. Oh no. Yeah, but there are a lot of memes like that. It's like, oh no, I want to die. But it's like, you got to think about like, why is that? That's a little strange. I'm making no claims. I'm not an expert. But it is a little strange. And so, you know, as long as you're not doing anything in what's it called, in excess, you're fine. We're all gonna die. Whoops! Oh, spoiler! So, you know, not too bad. But, you know, we're always kind of looking for the most ethical way to exist, right? You kind of want to know that, you know, walking into a car isn't a good idea. And so you're like, oh, okay, I shouldn't do that. Like, well, what else is there, you know? Dieting. A lot of people go to dieting very quickly. Like, oh, I gotta... Maybe dieting will prolong my existence here. That sort of thing. No one goes to like alcohol or coffee, or it's just like, we're just gonna eat plants and smoke a lot. That's gonna be our diet. Smoking and what's it called? I've never heard of anyone getting fat on a cigarette-based diet. So, you know. I'm wondering if I should add details to this part, or if I should just leave it as a strong kind of like piece of metal. That's dark, then this has gotta be darker. I think I need to plan out my values better, because I keep having this problem where I run into areas where I want to have, you know, a lot of detail and a lot of stuff, but if it's in a shadowed area, I feel like I'm overplaying my hand, and I should just stick with, you know, dark value there. But it just so happens that because the planning is bad, those areas are a large part of the composition, and that becomes a problem, I think. Because then you have all these non-detailed areas. I feel like maybe the whole detailing meme is a bad one. Maybe I shouldn't want to detail all the things. But yeah. My music died, but just as well. Let's see what Bazzery's chat is saying. I wonder if Bazzery's chat is calling me a retard over and over. I feel like oh, he's not even live. Alright. Leave him a re. Alrighty. Just a slow and steady pace to the end for this one. I think this one will end good. The next thing I'm gonna be doing, kind of worried about that one. I think I have it here. This one has an interesting like thought behind it, but nope. So, this thing. This one, like, I feel like could be very interesting. Also a lot of that Asian flavor. Paint this for a little bit more, and then actually let me duplicate this group in there. Wait, hold on. There too. Perfect. This cures all the problems, actually. New layer. New. What to call this one? Whoops. About samurai. Z. With an S. Alright. Now, and then save it. I think it has a lot of like cool stuff happening and like action wise. Merge all this down. But I feel like this part needs to be redone. Where he's actually grabbing the or stabbing the guy with, you know, I'll probably have to move this part, but again, I think this one has actually an interesting flow, you know, interesting like sort of premise. Turn off the music. Oh, how did it stop? Why? Gonna get some of that sword in, sword arm. I don't know which way his hand should be. Should it be like backwards? The other thing I want to do with this one, probably shift the composition. What I want to bring in is kind of these flags. Kind of the way that Mullins uses them. I also want to have some figures in there. I definitely want this to be like not just the main focus, but like most of the composition. Something like that. Might have another I feel like his hands should be in the death grip. That's a cool name for this one, death grip. Kind of like the band. Except he's not, you know, gripping him, he's gripping the sword. But anyway, I want to do that gradient. See if I can get. See if I can get some of Mullins-esque memes with the flags. It's probably my third or fourth favorite from him. I really enjoy that. The movement. I wonder if his site is back up. The movement in that piece is just like, it's fantastic on so many levels. I wanna kind of emulate that. Maybe with a little bit of local movement from the from the guy's like cape. That could be what I do. Oh, I think this was a blood splatter. Oh, okay. I think I know what I was going for here. But yeah, it's these blues and these oranges that he makes into just this really beautiful composition. And I know, like, the primary rule of these drawings is you never want to have, you know, graphic depictions of violence because they take away from the story first and foremost. But I feel like I could have at least one of these, right, in my portfolio. Wouldn't be too bad. Also, it makes you look like a psychopath, which I'm kind of aware of. Not a psychopath, it's just, you know, that's kind of the moment that I want to depict is, gruesome. I don't know, something about ignoring the realities of war. Something that we kind of, I'm super comfortable with. I don't think it's possible any other way, because it's like, if you think about it for a little bit, you kind of go crazy. I should probably stop watching so many war movies. Like I've yeah, there's a lot of movement that you can do a lot with, I think, in this one. But yeah, that'll be a painting for another time. It has a strong composition, but needs like figures in the back. I need to figure out why this guy is so much taller, and if I can keep him at that size, because I'm not sure. It's funny that Bazari was making fun of the katana, even though it's the best weapon. The only weapon that's better than a katana is a rapier. Of course. No bias there. But yeah, I want a strong orange-blue gradient. We'll see if that can carry me through the painting, since I usually use red as a placeholder color. Probably switch to something, you know, much less flamboyant. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Hope you enjoyed, and I appreciate you guys. Come back again. With me was Bazari, as always. You can find him on the Polish side of Twitch TV. Bazari, Twitch TV/Bazari. Also an artist. Check out his stuff. It's cool. But yeah, see you guys.